welcome to another episode of Dice-Slingers. I'm your host, Laren. All right, Dice-Slingers. Today we're going to be talking about death saves. All right, I'm sure those who've been playing Dungeons and Dragons, especially 5th edition, are very familiar with the concept of death saves. You've probably used them many times in your game. And I'm here with this episode to tell you reasons why I don't really like death saves. Now, these are, of course, my own opinion. You're free to regard or disregard, I should say, whatever I say in this video. It's in the end, it's your. All right. Now, the first one I want to cover is how I believe death saves, one of the problems with them is that they take away player agency. They kind of, you're more or less reduced to rolling a die to decide your fate, whether you live or whether you die. And also, while you're doing this, you really can't do anything else in relation to the game. Like most dungeon masters our DMs won't let you say anything or participate in the discussion. They'll say, "Hey, uh, Susan or Bill, your character is unconscious. You can't add to the discussion party." Okay, so that's one thing that I believe, you know, that's bad about death saves is that they take away player uh, 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 English. They take away player agency. Right now, another thing that I find about uh, death saves is that they're weirdly binary for some reason. Uh, it's kind of you're again that dies is deciding whether you live or you die. It's just kind of strange to me. Um, I mean, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. By the way, and let's move on to the next thing, which uh, to me is in a game that has a lot of problems as far as momentum, keeping the pace going, and that would be is that they slow down the game. And let's face it, D and D combat takes a long time, even with fast players, because you've got actions, you've got reactions, you got bonus actions, you've got whatever else. You've got players not prepared for their turn, things like that. Okay, so now on top of that, we're adding death saves. We're adding one more thing to the round. Right? Again, like I said, that's to me that's probably the biggest thing. Well, the second biggest thing of why I don't like or use death saves. And I'll let you know what my main reason is here in a little bit. All right, moving along. All right, and this is probably again, like I said, this is what's going to okay. This is my biggest reason why I do not like death saves. Okay, because they undermine the stakes of death. I mean, yeah, it's like you go from like a fallen a fallen hero to someone popping right back up with one hit point only be hit, maybe only be hit, hit and knocked down again. So you got kind of a yo-yo effect going up with the death saves. All right, we got a little technical problem here. Sorry about that. Don't know where that came from. All right, and now, of course, with death saves, you feed the dreaded rules warrior. That's one more thing, but as a DM, you feed to that. dreaded rules lawyer. Another rule, some more rules for them to try to beat you with. All right, but it does, but it does encourage. Death saves do encourage metagaming. They, because people all of a sudden they start crunching numbers in their head. They kind of take themselves. Sorry about that back to the mic. They take themselves away from the immersion of the game, and now are saying, things like, "Hey, you know, don't waste your spell on him. He's got two successes, or however, uh, or however that works. Things like that. All right, and now I, I would like to hear your thoughts on this, on death saves, reasons why you don't like them or you do like them. And as always, I would be very uh, grateful if you would like and subscribe to this channel so I can and suggest content for me. And until then, I I guess it is bye bye bye.